Okay, so this is the beginning of a new series that I'm going to do, and I think I'll even make an additional playlist just for this. So this is going to be Shuai Chiao combinations. I don't know exactly how many of them I'll do, but I'm going to do 3 combinations per video. Sometimes they will correlate, right? Like with this video, I'm going to focus on a particular lead-in throw with 3 other, with a throw, throw to create a combination, 3 different ones. I think my minimum I'm going to make is 36 different combinations. So that will be a dozen videos. I may do 4 or 5 dozen, but for sure 3 dozen. So if you've done some of these before, you're doing Shuai Chiao, or you're teaching Shuai Chiao, and you know some of these combos, that's good, that's great. If not, they're new to you. I hope they help you out, and if you have any questions about it, please let me know. Most of these combinations I got from my teacher, Sifu, Master John. So I would say the majority of these are from him. And some of these I've gotten from Master David Lin. Master Lin's passed away, but a couple of these combos I've gotten from him, from times that I've interacted with him in the past. A couple of these have come from my other Kung Fu uncle, Master Roger Su. And then some of them are ones that I've created on my own. Now, that being said, do I do all of these combos all of the time? Absolutely not. There are certain ones that work for me, for my build, my age, for my person. They fit into my personality, all of that stuff, right? And it's going to be the same for you, but it's great to learn across a broad spectrum and get exposed to the different ones. And some of them you're just going to find that they fit, they work well for you. But a lot of that's going to be based on what are your core single throws that you like to try to execute, right? Maybe it's body throws or non-body throws. Maybe it's more destabilizing techniques and you keep a solid base. Maybe it's leg lifting pieces. You have to start experimenting with that yourself to figure out what works for you. Now, all of these in this, I'm probably not going to use jackets. I may explain to you, what kind of a grip you can do with the jacket or something like that, but those are other videos. So this is a series. I've got one that I'm finishing up right now. If you're watching this in time, where there's 2 more, and it's over just fundamental basic, what I consider basic Sandan concepts. There's other little series like this that I will make over the next 6 months. Some over form, some over this, and some over that, etc. But then there'll be some that'll be over something specific, like utilizing the jacket, or over a particular tool, like a certain kick or a certain strike or something like that. Just like this series is purely over combos, primarily doubles. And there may be some triples that we do too, just to put them in there. So anyway, today we're going to look at 3 that are based off of knee seizing. Okay, so knee seizing itself, and I'm going to do this a couple of different ways. We're not doing any kicks or strikes with these. They're just purely going to be from some kind of an attachment like this, and we'll execute the move. So the knee seizing itself, like close this hand, I'm going to lift the knee up, and look, I'm not using the hand. Try not to do this. It's bad, easy to jam a finger. You're not supposed to grab the fabric anyway on a person's pant legs when you're competing. This works out much better. And 2, if I'm doing this versus this, I can engage so much more of the muscles in my arm and in my back by using my arm this way versus using it like this. So anyway, I would recommend doing this. And it's moving in a diagonal, right? If you haven't watched some of my other videos, or if you're not real familiar with knee seizing, there's more than one knee seizing. There's doing 2 legs, grabbing 2 legs, 1 leg. There's coming from the outside. There's coming from the inside like this. There's coming from the outside. It's a very versatile throw, not unlike striking or embracing ones. You know, a lot of different variations of them. So, so from here, you know, I can do all kinds of stuff. I can switch to get this, or I can just collapse the hand. Again, we're more focused on the combo for this than we are on the entry or all of that. If you're concerned about using the jacket, if I got in here, I would probably grab for the inside of the jacket, and I would grip this and I would push with my fist as I'm doing this action. I could do it like that. So anyway, we're here. I'm going to collapse this and I'm going to grab the leg. So all three of these, they somewhat bridge. Now you can do these like offensively. I just want to combine the two throws together to increase the velocity, or because I want to get this other move that's on the inside. Or this situation too. I do this and he goes to push the leg back down, right? And I'm going to use it, right? So as he goes to push it, go with it, right? You can practice this part with a partner, right? But can you catch his timing to get the leg, right? So we've got knee seizing neck mopping, knee seizing with inner leg hooking, and knee seizing leg blocking, or knee seizing flash leg blocking. Okay, so flash leg blocking is controlling the leg and the arm and kicking the other leg out. And so if I do it like this, the first one is going to be neck mopping. Okay, so I'm here and I go to get this. Now, as he goes to force the leg back down, I'm going to pull it through and I'm going to step with it, and then I'm going to go to stop the leg. And as I go to push his head, I'm going to push his head like if I was going to push it between his legs. Right, I'm going to be doing it like this, and I'm going to lift the leg. So it's like I'm making a circle out of him, right? I'm just stopping in here, and he will protect himself like this, and he's going to fall to that side. Right? He does the action to me, right? Here, all he does is compress it. As I go to push this down, right? He changes the grip, and he would pull, and he's going to kind of push my head between my legs and move this over. And I can keep this hand here. If you're practicing it with a partner and you want to get comfortable with the fall, you can use this hand as an off hand. It's a support piece, right? So he does the piece, and he goes to hook my head, right? And then as he goes to pull it in and stick to the leg, right, look where I put my hand. I put it up here, right? I can also use this to turn this into a counter. This video is not about counters, but I can use this and put my hand here to help me as I go to fall. Okay? So let's look at it right quick. So we'll do it a couple of different ways. So I'm here and I go to collapse, or I grab, or however you want to see it, or I switch it, right? And I'm going to go for the leg. He goes to push it down, right? I'm going to pull it through this side. And again, I'm going to push his head between his legs and pull his leg around as I catch it. All right, so here, right? He just falls to this side. If he does the same move to me, so he collapses this in, he gets this here, he goes to the leg, right? He changes the grip, right? As I push the leg down, right? He pulls it up. He's going to use that momentum. Catches my leg, pulls my head between my legs, and lifts the leg across. I'll do it to him like this, right? Again, like I said, you can even do it this way, right? Use this kind of grip, or like this way. Again, I can seize and I can pull, and then do it, all kind of stuff, right? Again, just want you to realize there's more than one way to get it. Just a simple approach to get the attachment. So I push in, I go for the leg, he pushes it down, and just pull it through, right? That. Him pushing the leg down, if I pull it from under him, right, I don't let him put it down this way, right? As he goes to push it down and pull it from under him, he's literally already helping me to create the combination. Do it one more time. right here, right? I get this up, and this is what is going to give you the momentum that you need, right? I do this, and as he pushes this down, use that to help you. Right. So the next one is internet cooking. And you can do this with a spin or with a step through. Meaning, again, I'm going to do the same fundamental setup just like we did, right? So I come here, he goes to push this down, and I'm going to pull it through. Look, and I put it over here on my hip side, right? Remember, we could do all kind of what ifs. He can punch me and blah, blah, blah. We do all kinds of stuff. We're not worried about that today, right? He's just going to keep his hands up. So look, I can pull this across and step through and kick his leg out this way and push him backwards. I can also spin, right? And that's what I'm going to work on today. I'm just going to try to use his energy. So I get this up. As he goes to push it down, I spin. Also, too, if he's, say he's taller than you, and the length of the leg bone, or his hands pushing back against you, or him pushing down, it creates too much resistance for you to try to come in this way. It's easy to spin and be able to kick him out, right? If he does it to me from here, right? He lifts it up and look, it's like, push it down, right? He wants to take advantage of that right when that happens, right? So look, I got his leg, he pushes it down. You've got to use it right then, right? You don't want it to get stale. That's part of the combo, right? I'm doing something, and the resistance is going to be, I'm going to use that resistance, right, that he's giving me. That's when there's neutralizing it. There's all kind of reasons why you would do a combo. But sometimes, your skill allows you to say, I'm going to try to get a combo on this guy, right? So maybe you're strong enough to do this, right? And he pushes it down, but you can just go ahead and blast him anyway and knock him back, right? Nothing wrong with that. But say you want to bring your training up a level. Like I have some guys that train with me that are a lot bigger than Jonathan, and I try to get them to use their footwork and to try to use technique and not use their size. There's one guy that's maybe, I don't know, 30 pounds bigger than Jonathan. Pretty big guy, like maybe 240. Probably at least 240, right? So he can just pick you up, and like move you around. And strong, big guy. And that's great until he comes across somebody that's a strong, big guy too, right? So when he's working with people that are not as big, we'll say, it's better for him to be able to try to learn counters and combinations and do setups to get the person to do something and be able to work off of that. And that's the same for somebody that's smaller. But even though I could maybe do this knee seizing on him, sometimes when you're doing throwing or if you want to consider wrestling or grappling, or whatever terminology you like to use, sometimes do a move and try to set the guy up, and he gives you that reaction that you want, and then turn it into a combo. If you're able to do that on somebody that's within your we'll say your size, or maybe their skill is around yours, and you're able to do that, then when you deal with somebody that's bigger or stronger, or they may have more skill, you're able to utilize those combos to help you be more proficient, to be able to finish them off, we'll say, to put them on the ground. So again, I lift it, and as he pulls and lifts, I go with him, right? And when I turn, I really don't want Jonathan to stay upright. We're on this tile floor, and I don't want him to potentially fall on his head, right? So I'm not going to push back against his torso. But on the mask, we will, right? So when I get his leg, and as he goes to push forward, look, I would push back against his torso as I turn, so that I'm already pushing his weight backwards. And with the turn, he's going to roll like this, and so it makes it easier for me to dump him. And at the same time, it increases the velocity of the throw. So he's going to do it to me. He comes in, he gets it, and look, I try to force it down, and as I do, so when I get it, this leg and this leg are going to go together, right? So if you try to force down, right? You're pushing this way, right? Think in your mind, right? So I'm going to step around at the same time. Say push down. So if I do it like that, I can borrow from it. Right? So the legs here, so I'm going to try to push it down. Yeah, that's it. And then you just pull it into you. And then boom. And you go down. Right, so we're here. I get this. He goes to push it down. Turn. And like I said, on the mats, we'll do it where I'm trying to force Jonathan back, or he's going to try to force me back. It just works better. But like I said, you can do it this way, right? You get him like this, and especially if you've got a jacket, you can shove the jacket out like this with your hand, or you can even do it like this and force into him like this, right? And create that backward lean of his body so it can come in and you kick the leg out. Now, you can also do it from here. You can do like this and turn like that and use this to help you to slam it. You know, make like a real sharp angle. So, let's start over here. So, I'm going to do these to Jonathan so it'll make sense. And he's going to get to toss me too, but I'll kind of give these examples. So I stepped in to get it. And as he pushes the force, I'm going to change it, right? As I do, I'm going to push him back. So as he pushes his foot down, change it, and drop. Now look, I'm going to keep this because I'm going to turn this into, but not in Shuai Chiao, in the sport, but in Seizing that I teach, I'm going to use this, the ankle or the knee or the hip as a restraint. All right, now. So I got it this time, and let's move this way a little bit. You're going to fall backwards, right? So look, I got this. As he goes to push it down, you see what I did? Like as the force comes, right? I get this. As he goes to push it, literally, as this pushes down, I use this, push it down hard. I push my leg inside, right? I borrow this to shoot my leg forward so I can hook his leg, right? In this situation, I'm here and I get it, right? I step to you, he pushes it down, and step through. Now, I can combine the two aspects to make a real sharp, tight corner. It's like doing, you can call this chopping or cut, right? There's front cut, you're going this way, and then there's side cut, right? So side cut is more like, turn it this way. Instead of me going this way and trying to bend him over, usually when they're taller than you or bigger, it's better to go at an angle. Master Bill was really great at this throw. But I give this and I make this real sharp, tight angle. I'm not going to lift your leg. I would turn real sharp and I would drop in here, right? So say this is 12 o'clock, I don't know, 11, right? When you say it like that. So with this move, I'm going to do the same thing. So I get the leg here, and as he goes to push it, as I step inside, look, the leg is real tight to me, and I'm going to make this short turn, right? So it's like this, but you drop him here instead of there. To do it with like full vigor, he'll hit really super hard on that, right? It's like the other one, you smash him backwards. Those are both like real hard falls. If you spin with it, you increase the velocity, he can move further back, but he will fall with a much faster rate. But the length of it is longer. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm saying that. So we'll move back a little. Jonathan's going to do this on me. He's going to do the spin, right? So he goes for the knee seizing. He lifts it up. I'm going to push it down, right? As I do, he pulls it up and he does the T, and then he hooks the leg and he sends me backwards. I fall back. And He tries it just where he's going to go back. Right? So here, he does the same thing. He hits the leg. I go to push it down, and he shifts this leg inside real quick. Boom, and then he hooks. And I'll go back. If you notice how Jonathan's holding on to the leg, or the ankle. He's not like at a death grip on it. You can do that. You can still do that in a Shuai Chiao competition. Nothing wrong with that. But, you know, we're also looking at Shuai Chiao for Sancho, meaning like freestyle, right? Where you get into a street situation and you want to be able to control or restrain the person. So after the fall, I mean, you know, you may throw them to try to incapacitate them with the fall itself, or you may try to throw them to restrain and control them, right? So I like to work practicing with the control. All right, so we'll look at the last one here. Knee seizing leg blocking. So there's also, my teacher calls it flash leg blocking, right? And you can do it from a kick too, but we're going to use it as a combo with knee seizing, right? So I get this move, right? And look, he pushes it down. Instead of me going that way this time, I'm going to go this way, right? So as he goes to push force down, I'm going to turn this way. And I would kick his leg out like this. Now, this is a very, I mean, you can do it on people, right? But it's a hard fall. And if the person's not used to the fall, easy to get hurt, right? Because if you see how I had his leg, and I would be kicking him out like this, and he's going to flip over like that, and you got to be able to lift this over. And so we're going to try to move a little bit. And what's the flash leg blocking? Flash leg blocking is like this. I get this, and he pushes it down, and I get this, but this hand is here. I captured this hand, right? You could say you could do this with the jacket, right? You could have the sleeve. It would work all right this way, but if I was under the sleeve, or even if I got to the back of the sleeve, right? But I don't have a jacket on, so I'm going to use just skin, right? So I would throw him like this, right? And I'm going to do leg lifting, and I would kick up on him like this. This gives me more control over his body, and his head is not just kind of flying like that. If you're good at falls, and you've done it for a while, and the just grabbing the leg and kicking it out is safer. So anyway, we're going to give it both a shot. So here he goes. He goes to do the knee seizing. He gets my leg up. I push it, and he's going to spin the other way. Yeah, right? And so then he's going to attach this kind of to him, and then this comes up, and he would come above the knee, and he would kick me out. Like this. I get it. He goes to push it. And I come across and I kick it out. Yeah. And when you're practicing these combos, like this one, right, work with your partner on making sure that they're putting force into it so you can get that second move. If you're just doing it, it would be no different than like you do this, and then like his hand is here, like you do this, and then you know, like some stupid stuff like that, right? I want to make sure that when I'm practicing something, right, he pushes it down, I turn it into something else. I want to feel that, right? I want to practice that so I can develop that reaction and sensitivity to the movement. And that's another combo, right? Knee seizing to downward pulling or twist spring. Anyway, so in the other one, I went here, right? He goes to push it. I pull it out, but this hand is up here, right? He's probably going to be fighting me with this hand anyway. And look, I grab it, and then I would finish by lifting him over, right? This helps me